Okay, so this is chapters 41 through 45 in Lock the Doors of Amy's section. 41. Mom speaks to me and it feels obvious that she's hiding something because who talks like that? She's too eager and too fake, but the boy doesn't know that. He smiles and nods like this is a totally normal conversation. I guess we all have our secrets because it looks as if he's carrying a lot more than his backpack. His name is Tom and he's not the type you'd normally expect to do a school tour. Nervous energy comes off him in waves and crashes into my own. A few times he catches my eye, but I'm scared what he'll see if he looks too deep, so I stare at the ground. Something about him is different. He's weighed down. He looks like he used to be broken. He looks like me. I was scared everyone here would be like everyone at St. Gregory's. I thought I'd be the weird one from my very first day because I'm tired of faking it, so I don't even try. But maybe I don't have to. Back in the car, Mom says, "What did you think?" "It's different." "It's your only choice," Mom says, but she doesn't look mean. She looks like she's worried about me. I think back to the day I got into the academy and how proud my parents were. Will wasn't sure why we were celebrating, but he was the keenest of all. And then we went to the castle, and that was maybe our last perfect day. 42. My brother and Logan used to be the only boys I thought about, but not anymore. Tom's face floats through my mind over and over, but what I see isn't good. I see sorrow and doubt and insecurity. He has my reflection, and I want to know him, so I do something I haven't done in a long time. I try to make a friend. It's not easy to cover all your cracks, but I don't want to be alone in this school, too. There's something in Tom's eyes that gives me the courage to try, so when my guidance counselor mentions this buddy thing, I ask for him. She says, "We don't usually get requests. Do you know each other?" "Not yet," I say. She smiles. "I'll see what I can do." Whatever she does, it works, but Tom looks at me like I'm weird. "I know what you're thinking," I say. "You do?" "Yep, you think I'm weird because last time I was moody and this time I don't know how to finish the sentence, but I don't have to. "Hyper," Tom says, and I laugh because it's been a long time since anyone described me as that. Will was hyper for both of us. He was off the charts exhausting, and I was his audience. Tom is already backing away, but I'm sure I'm right about him. He looks different from the others. "Meet me at break," I say, and I think he will. 43. Everything happens around me because I'm too late to be important. All the friendships have been made, all the private jokes and famous stories have been written into our school's history. All I can do is answer my name when roll is called and try not to think how long a year can be. I go back to the reception area and he's there, looking a lot like he doesn't want to be. I try my best smile and say, "I'm here for the tour." He tells me the truth all the way around, which makes me like him more. Then he shows me the sports field and says, "That's Simon Marlowe's Head Start line." The way he looks at me changes. Most people don't look at me at all, but something in Tom's eyes feels lovely and awkward at the same time. And I stay quiet because whatever I say will spoil it. He tells me a story about a dead boy, and I imagine what would happen if I did the same. This boy has a line drawn in the grass and a story repeated over and over again, but Will doesn't have anything like that. Simon Marlowe isn't a secret like my brother. Tom tells a tale like someone recalling their own experience rather than rushing through someone else's. I give him a hug because he's sad and nice and cute, and if he has more stories, I might not feel alone in my own. "Do I scare you?" I ask. "No." "I will," I say, because I think we could be friends and I'm worried how much I already trust him. 44. Dad hands me a box and says, "I made you this." At the bottom on a square of paper are 2 words, "I'm sorry." "What is this?" I ask, and he bows his head. It's a way of talking to Will, without raising suspicion. If anyone finds this, it's just an apology. I don't understand at first, not until we're in the garden and Dad whispers, "I miss you so much, my son." I couldn't say that word for a long time. It may only be 3 letters, but it's the biggest word in the world. And then, even quieter, and only to myself and to a boy I desperately hope is listening, Dad says, "I'm sorry." Then he writes it and lays it on top of the first note. When it's my turn, I stay silent for a long time because I don't know what to say. In my room alone, I can talk to my brother for hours, but with Dad watching, I feel scared to open my mouth. Eventually, I try something in my head, then out loud. "I feel guilty every single day. I messed up. I made a mistake. But those are just words and they're not enough. What happened is bigger than words. I know this doesn't change anything, but I am so, so sorry." Dad hands me the pen and I write my apology and put it in the box and close the lid. Then I watch him hook it on a tree Will never got to climb. He would have loved it here. He would have worn himself out a million times, then begged for one more. No more secrets, Dad says. This is the place for us to come when we want to speak to your brother. Even Mom? I ask, and my father sighs. She has somewhere else to go. What do you mean? Dad doesn't answer for a long time, and when he does, it looks like he's fighting back the words that break through him anyway. When he's finished, I hug him and say, Thank you for telling me. You can't speak about this to anyone, Dad whispers. It's all I have. I draw 2 invisible lines on my chest. Cross my heart. 45. Tom is a nice surprise, but he's also dangerous. He looks at me like I'm a puzzle with the middle missing. I could fill in the blanks for him, but then he'd look at me differently. I could walk away, and maybe he'd forget me because that's how school works. If you don't speak to someone for enough days, eventually you're replaced or forgotten or both. But I want to talk to him. I enjoy talking to him. That feels strange after so many years of keeping quiet. I lost a part of myself when my brother died. We all did. But Tom is like an open hand reaching out to who I was and who I might be, and sometimes I want to reach out my hand too and let him pull me back. I could fall for him, but that's not allowed. I have to keep my fragile, fucked up family safe, not because I love them, but because I have no choice. All his words and all his looks are tiny spades digging at what I buried, and that's when I realize there's a part of me, the smallest, quietest, deepest part, that wants him to find out the truth.